Can we say ethics is ideal, not practical, and hence it is difficult to follow? Give your view with a peer example. This. Now, basically we are trying to ask to clear your things. Many people think ethics is ideal. That's why we have asked this. The ethics is ideal. Now it demands another set of knowledge. So ethics, you can simply start that. Ethics is based on established standards of conduct with an aim to achieve chief good. Our ethics deals with character and conduct on the basis of established standards with an aim to achieve the chief good. Any introduction then you can talk about ethics. That ethics, since it is related, ethics belongs to philosophy, and in that it is the normative theories of ethics which have explained about ethics and character and conduct and given their, let's say, principles. We can talk standards. That way we can say that. So we can start with a definition of ethics. Then we can tell that how there are normative theories of ethics which explains about what is ethics. The ethics deals with basically character and conduct, and its focus is on what ought to be. Its focus is on what ought to be. This. So its focus is on what ought to be. This way. Then when we talk, let's say that, when we talk about these things, what ought to be, and when we deal with human conduct, so established standards, this is how the question is saying that it is ideal, not practical. Since it is what ought to be, therefore ethics sets principles, standards, and they are considered as ideal standards. They are considered ideal standards. This. Now, how can we know that they are considered as ideal standards? So, they are considered ideal standards. So, let's say that anyone, let's say this selflessness, it is an ideal standard by deontology. Or let's say honesty, we can say integrity, we can say accountability, we can say. So these are basically, let's say, principles of ethics. And they are considered ideal. Now we have to come on practical. Practical is anything that is, let's say that what we can consider in a given situation, right? Not as per the basis, as per the ethical standards, rather as per the self-interest or situation. Means in that practically that it is based on gain. What you are gaining in that situation. This, when it is based on gain, let's say that, then anything can be, then it will have no any, let's say that is sanctity, let's say that. There will be no any sanctity in the conduct, and therefore let's say that it is not ethics. It is not ethics. This. Then the question, it is difficult to follow. Is it hence it is yes. This, it is not practical, but it is difficult to follow. Difficult to follow. Why? Because it may result into gain, no, it may result into loss also. Means basically your conduct can be right, but the benefits that you receive, material benefits, emotional benefits, other, let's say social, let's say other benefits, so that the benefits may not necessarily be that way. This, and since benefits will not be, let's say that benefits will not be coming out as you, let's say, desire, rather if you follow ethics there can be loss also. That's why people generally, let's say, when we speak honest, so when, let's say that we are honest, but situation demands that you should be dishonest. If you speak honestly, even job you may not get. No? Suppose a person goes for interview and he speaks honestly. The possibility that honesty is bitter, and then how he thinks that he may lose job. So then he will try to manipulate. This, since following such standards are difficult, that's why let's say that people try to be practical. Even let's say that people do not talk. If you talk about ethics, people will say you are foolish person. This, but then it is saying that this example, this is how you can give example. Then you have to conclude. Thereafter, we have to give a conclusion. That, and in this conclusion, then let's say we have to write that even if let's say it is difficult, but that is how let's say we have to follow, and we cannot say that it is also impractical and it is ideal, simply because those who have given the philosophy, they have themselves adhered to the philosophy first. If you take Mahatma Gandhi, if you take Vivekananda, if you take Aristotle, if you take Kant, if you take Socrates, Socrates gave his life for the sake of ethics that he preached, he practiced. Hence, if you think that it is practical, difficult, no, forget about this. People have adhered it. So we cannot consider it practical, and we cannot say it is impractical for second. Ideal in the sense here, ideal, the ideal you say something ideal which is imaginary, which is utopian. Ethics also does not mean something that is imaginary and utopian. Rather, ethics means standards, established standards which human society itself has established, and we need to follow that. That's why we say ethics is ethics. It is neither ideal nor practical. That should be the explanation in this question.